Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm glad you could join me here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about mythology and also how lessons we learn and have learned through mythical teachings can guide us through turbulent times. In mythical times we had Zeus and Apollo, we had Odysseys and the Iliad, and as we live now in these Sisyphus-like times, I think it bodes well for us to look back on some of these and see how today those same lessons pertain in a big way. Myths were the stories that were used to help explain ourselves to ourselves and our relationship to each other, to nature, to our world, to our relationships, basically. But we no longer have monsters, and we no longer have dragons whose teeth we need to sow. And we no longer have oracles to translate our requests. Instead, we have headaches and payment plans and pandemics and stress. But we are all still mythical. And I'd like to read this, very small part of a poem from Kate Tempest, The Brand New Ancients. And this poem of hers it really is about how the past, the present, the future, all intertwined through our human needs and tendencies, desires and wants, foibles, challenges, and fears. But we are still mythical. We are still permanently trapped somewhere between the heroic and the pitiful. We are still godly. That's what makes us so monstrous, but it feels like we've forgotten we're much more than the sum of all the things that belong to us. The myths in the city have always said the same thing about how all we need is a place to belong, how all we need is to know what's right from what's wrong, and how we all need to struggle to find out for ourselves which side we are on. We all need to love and be loved and keep going. Our morality is still learned through experience, gained in these cities in all of their rage and their tedium, and yes, our colors are muted and grayed, but our battles are staged all the same. We are still mythical. Call us by our names. We are perfect. Because of our imperfections, we must stay hopeful, we must stay patient. Because when they excavate the modern day, they'll find us, the brand new ancients. See, all that we have here is all that we've always had. We have jealousy and tenderness and curses and gifts, but the plight of a people who have forgotten their myths and imagined that somehow now is all that there is a sorry plight, all isolation and worry. But the life in your veins, it is godly, heroic. You were born for greatness, believe it, know it, take it from the tears of the poets. There have always been heroes, and there's always been villains. And the stakes may have changed, but there's really no difference. There's always been greed and heartbreak and ambition, bravery, love, trespass, and contrition. We're the same beings that began still living in all of our fury and foulness and friction every day, odysseys, dreams, and decisions. The stories are there if you listen. The stories are here, the stories are you, and your fear and your hope is as old as the language of smoke, the language of blood, the language of languishing love. The gods are all here because the gods are in us. This goes on for many more pages, but you're lucky stopping there. This is a great reminder of the heroicness and holiness that we all carry inside of us. It's what makes us persevere. It's what helps us be resilient and creative. To find ourselves in situations where we don't have a lot of control, what have human beings always done? What has kept us a species alive and ongoing is that we are creative. We are industrious. We find ways. And so, as you're hunkered in your homes, perhaps there's something you might like to do, get your hands on, that you haven't in a while. Your fingers back on the piano keys or the flute or the guitar. Gather around to sing, color, create and color in mandalas, knit, cook something you've never cooked before and offer it to someone who is unable to go shopping. So many ways that human beings have used creativity and art and story and poem and theater and intuitive ingenuity to create and become. And this will be what comes out of this novel pandemic as well, is the creation of a way to stop it. And in the meantime, the greatest sword that we can carry is not one that will cut off the head of a monster, but it's one that is in some ways more difficult to us as human beings, because being social is very much a part of our fabric. Our sword is one that we have to put in front of us to keep us away from each other right now, which seems so odd and so bizarre, and I can't even believe I'm saying it. But that's what we need to do. That's our greatest weapon right now. And it won't be forever, but it's for now, because the virus loves the same social fabric that we do. It's figured out a way to get into the way that we connect with each other by our desire to be together. So what an insidious little thing this is, big little thing. So let's just do our part and do what we know is right, because that's our nature, because we are godly, heroic, holy, and we belong to each other. Namaste.